You know, it's not just Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's Kamala Harris. It's a host of other the Democratic announced and not yet announced Democrats who are seeking the White House, and others who are saying, you know what, we have to rejigger this tax code. We have to hike tax on the rich, not necessarily to 70% of the top end, but hike them just the same. Just the new guy coming in to take over the House Budget Committee has talked about raising the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%, experimenting with the possibility of raising taxes in the upper income as well. You add it all up, there's a lot of focus on making sure those taxes move up. Tadik Digital CEO Dave Maney on this. Dave, how seriously do you take this? It was serious enough, I noticed, in Davos with a lot of these big money managers saying, unlikely though it is to happen with just a Democratic House and the other two branches of government under firm Republican control, it is setting the table for 2020. What do you think?
It's absolutely setting the table. That's exactly right, Neil. And I think that, do I take it seriously? You bet I take it seriously. I think that there are all sorts of motivations for a Democratic Party to try to push that tax slider up just as high as it will go. It's a core and fundamental philosophical way of looking at the world. Their view is that all roads should lead through the government, and that tribute should be paid to those in the control of that government. And when you take 70% of the marginal dollar that's made in America, then guess what? You have to go do business with the government. You have to ask favor from the government. You have to ask for ways to avoid paying that tax, and all that leads to, in my opinion, Democratic campaign coffers.
Well, the bottom line is it's more popular than people are letting on. Obviously, with the Democratic base is one thing, but it is interesting to note that, and to be fair to the Congresswoman, she talks about the 70% rate kicking in over 10 million, but the trend is the trend. And one of the things that has come up is this idea that it would forcibly lower the gap between the rich and the poor. In fact, there was a very otherwise well-written column in Bloomberg today talking about the wisdom of that, and that was the intention of our founders. And I'm thinking, I don't know if that was the intention of our founders, but very smart media folks who were saying, you know, not a bad idea.
Obviously wasn't the intention of our founders, because the income tax kicked in Woodrow Wilson's Woodrow Wilson's administration. So any notion that the founding fathers somehow sought out income equality when in fact they were allowing slavery is laughable. So there's no anchor there. Is it a bad idea to have giant income inequality? I don't know about income. I know that giant wealth disparity causes problems. As you or I or anyone who's traveled to any third world country can tell you, there's a nice lifestyle available to the wealthy, but they're living behind armed guards. So it's not, nobody thinks that having poor people or people who need to resort to violence to make a living is a good idea. But that's a very different thing from squelching the exact kind of economic initiative, the exact kind of innovation, the exact kind of investment that you need at a technological turning point moment like this. It's economic idiocy. If it doesn't make any economic sense, and they know it doesn't make any economic sense, then you've got to sort of say, so why are you guys really doing this?
Someone must be in that 70% bracket. That's all I can say. Dave, thank you, my friend. Always good seeing you.